Vous écoutez RM1, Nord-Sud 98.9, Centre 97.3, Est-Ouest 91.7. RM1, la radio nationale.
RM1, it's 9 o'clock. The Flash with Eris Stewart. Good morning and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, Sophie, and Merry Christmas to everyone. Christians around the world celebrate Christmas on 25 December, marking the birth of Jesus Christ. Originally, Christmas was a festival linked to the winter solstice long before the advent of Christianity. It was only in the 4th century that the church established 25 December as the date commemorating the birth of Jesus of Nazareth. Born in humble conditions in a stable in Bethlehem, Jesus' birth remains a powerful symbol of peace, joy, sharing, and hope. The word Christmas comes from the Latin natalis, meaning birth. According to biblical accounts, Joseph and Mary traveled to Bethlehem for a census ordered by the Roman Emperor Caesar, where Jesus was born. In the weeks leading up to Christmas, Christians prepare spiritually, and across Mauritius, churches hold special services to celebrate this important event in the Christian calendar. And speaking of Christmas, another character originates from the story of Saint Nicholas, a generous 4th century bishop known for helping the poor. Originally celebrated on 6 December, this tradition still exists in some part of Europe and gradually evolved into the figure associated with Christmas today. Dutch immigrants later brought the tradition to the United States, where Saint Nicholas was known as Sinterklaas, a name that eventually became Santa Claus. It was in the 19th century that a newspaper illustrator shaped his modern image, a cheerful, bearded man dressed in a red suit trimmed with fur. And as families were preparing to celebrate Christmas, 3 households in Bois Marchand have received a meaningful gift, the regularization of the land they occupy. After decades of uncertainty, they have officially received their land contracts and are now legal owners of their plots. This first exercise followed a site visit by the Minister of Housing, Shakil Mohammed, and constituency MP Annabelle Savabadi earlier this year. Authorities say this is only the first phase. Several other applications remained under review, with on-site verifications continuing, as each case must meet specific criteria before approval. A third case of chikungunya has been confirmed at Residence La Cure. The patient is a 14-year-old adolescent who was admitted to Dr. Jitu Hospital in Port Louis. Following this detection, health authorities launched fumigation and larvicide treatment operations, along with fever surveillance and mosquito density assessments in the affected area. The 2 previously infected patients have since been discharged and returned home after receiving treatment. Similar vector control operations are also being carried out in Rochebrune and Plaisance-Rosil. Health authorities are urging the public to remain vigilant and strengthen preventative measures to limit mosquito breeding. Detainee Darren Rangasamy died from septicemia. This is the conclusion of the autopsy report conducted by the Chief Police Medical Officer, Dr. Sudesh Kumar Gangadin. The 30-year-old was arrested on 17 December in Terrouge in connection with a theft case. He had told police he was allegedly assaulted by several members of the public before being handed over to law enforcement. He died while being transferred from his cell at the Piton Detention Center to a police vehicle for a court appearance. The Major Crime Investigation Team has opened an inquiry, and CCTV footage from the detention center has been secured for investigative purposes. And moving international, scouts marched under a clear blue sky in Bethlehem on Wednesday as the Palestinian city emerged from the shadow of the war in Gaza to celebrate its first festive Christmas in more than 2 years. Since the start of the Gaza conflict in October 2023, following Hamas's attack on Israel, Christmas celebrations in the biblical birthplace of Jesus had been marked by a somber atmosphere. This year, however, festivities resumed as a fragile truce held in Gaza, where hundreds of thousands of people continue to face harsh winter conditions in makeshift shelters. And finally, in sports, the largest contingent of the Mauritian delegation competing at the African Youth Games returned home yesterday morning. They brought back an impressive tally of 17 medals, including 1 gold. Attention now turns to the next major objective, the Dakar 2026 Youth Olympic Games. That's all from me this morning. Thanks so much for listening. Stay tuned now to the Intimate Play